Good evening. I'm Wallace Gator Bradley, and I'm the president of United in Peace, Inc. And this show is brought to you because of the direction and the production of the chairman of United in Peace, Inc., none other than my wife, Ms. Terry Marsh. And I have a special guest today, by the grace of God, and that is Secretary Jesse White, Secretary of the State of Illinois. With that, I want to say to God be the glory. And Mr. Secretary, you can talk right into the viewing audience and let them know, in case they don't know, who you are and why it's important that you be and remain the Secretary of the State of Illinois.
Well, Gator, it's an honor for me to be here with you, and to your viewing audience. I spent 16 years as a lawmaker, 6 as a Cook County Recorder of Deeds, 19 serving as the Illinois Secretary of State, 10 years in the military. Used to jump out of perfect good airplanes with the 101st Airborne Division, 35 jumps to my credit, 8 years of professional baseball, 33 years as a teacher, 59 years as coach and founder of the Jesse White Tubman team, and yet I'm not 150 years of age. But I believe that when you come through this world and become successful, you give back, and every day you must do something good for someone. That's how I run my life. I'm running for re-election for Secretary of State. I was asked by a host of individuals to reconsider my decision not to run. I love the job. We're doing a lot of wonderful things for the people of the state of Illinois. The organ and tissue donor program will be one of the best organ and tissue donor programs in the nation, where we now have 16 and 17-year-olds signing up to be a part of this program. There are 6.4 million people signed to become part of the organ and tissue donor program. However, there are 5,000 people on the waiting list as we speak, and each year about 300 people die because the organs have not arrived in a timely manner. We ask that when you're alive and well, give blood. When you're no longer here, give organs. And we've done this through things where we have a positive impact upon society. And in the African-American community, 68% of us are on the list for organs, but only 32% of us participate. You cannot go to the grocery store and buy $68 worth of groceries having only $32. So we just ask you to seriously don't buy into the myths that when I'm on life support, the doctor's not going to put forth a genuine effort to save me, or they will sell my organs. We don't do that here in this country. Or the rich man's going to get his organs before I get mine. Well, there's an order that we must follow. Or because of religious reasons, I choose not to participate. Well, all the religions in the Western world support the organ and tissue donor program. And then finally, they'll say, I won't look good am I going away. Well, morticians know how well to make you look. And of course, please don't buy into the myths and become a part of the organ and tissue donor program. Thank you.
You know, Secretary, there's a lot of things that you do in the community. You one of the, for lack of a better phrase, you are a people's servant. The wonderful thing that you're doing with the Jesse White tumblers is more than just individuals learning how to flip and everything else. Could you share with a viewing audience the wonderful thing that you're doing with the young adults? You're taking them away from a gang banging mentality, giving them hope. And a lot of people don't realize they don't just flip, they also end up going to college because of your program.
Sure. I was a gymnast as a kid. I taught gymnastics in college, taught for the Board of Education Park District YMCA. And out of professional baseball with the Chicago Cub Organization, I was asked to put on a gym show at the Rockwell Garden Housing Project. And from that one gym show in December 1959 came this program. We are 59 years old as we speak. We've had over 18,000 young people to come through it. We have 300 young people on the team, 8 units, and 51 of our 300 young people are in college. We give each one between $3,000 and $8,000 toward their education. They have to be leafless, smokeless, and pipeless. The only time they can practice pharmacy is after they've earned a white coat. And then they cannot drop out of school and become a part of SWU. That's called Sidewalk University, where they hang around the corners, get themselves in trouble with the law, end up going to jail, and then end up going to prison. They cost we the taxpayers here in Illinois about $35,000 a year to put one person in prison for 1 year, and 83% of the people in prison today have not graduated from high school. So now you know who they are, I know who they are, and I'm going to try to save as many as I possibly can. Along with the fact that we have the Jesse White Tubman team, every year we're involved with what is called a trunk party. This last year we gave out 550 trunks, clothing, food, school supplies, computers, laptops. The list goes on to 550 young people. So you can be a good athlete. We want you to be a good student. We want you to be a good human being. And the other thing too, and as we take our young people on college tours, and so they can see other universities and other schools of learning, other schools of teaching throughout this wonderful country of ours. And then every Christmas we distribute about 17,500 hams and turkeys to needy families and senior citizens. We've been doing that for 54 years, and we're going to do that again this year. And so there are a lot of things that we do to try to help save our young people and put them on the right track. We teach them to love their fellow man and woman and never ever dislike anyone because of race, creed, or color. That is the ugliest card in the deck. Cannot play that one. I try to speak about 5 different languages. I believe you can speak someone else's language, eat their food, learn their dance, learn about their culture. It makes for a good relationship. Try that and you'll be a better person as a result of it.
You know, I love saying, you know, Mr. Secretary, Brother Secretary, but I also love saying Jesse.
Hey,
hey,
we're family.
Right, yes, sir. You know, for the viewing audience to know, I got my GED in the state penitentiary. I went in the federal, I went into the state joint, functioning illiterate. But because other brothers that went in with me, like Larry Hoover and others, we made our decision to get an education even inside the penitentiary. I have 4 children that have graduated from college, and one of them was a mentor of yours, and that's my son, Carmiel. He ended up graduating from Eastern Illinois University, and because of your guidance, he went right back and he got a master's degree.
Wonderful.
And every time he see you, he, Daddy, Jesse, Jesse, Jesse. But you know, Jesse, what is very important too is the elections that's coming up. The elections in Illinois are very, very important because I see it representing what's happening across the country.
Sure.
The November 6th elections, 2018, everyone is trying to push this blue wave across the country. So I know they say politics is always local, but I see this as a quilt, if you will.
Sure.
Where it's very important that everyone come out and vote Democrat, because we got to make a change when we see what's happening nationally. But here, locally, could you explain to the viewing audience the importance of Juliana running along with J.B. Pritzker to be the lieutenant governor?
Yeah, Juliana Stratton is a state representative representing the south side of the city of Chicago. I think it's the 5th district.
Yes, sir.
And she ran against a fellow by the name of Ken Duncan, who was one of a young man who I took by the arm to help him get involved in the political arena. But he decided that he wanted to get motivated. He was motivated by greed, and he was with Ronner, right. And he voted against the wishes and the needs and the desires of the people of his district and of this wonderful state of ours. And so we put forth a genuine effort to help Juliana become elected as state representative. And then J.B. Pritzker, who's a dear friend of mine, a gentleman whom I've known for over 35 years, decided that he wanted to use her as his running mate. And I was sitting at home one day and I was thinking, I said, you know, Juliana Stratton will become the next lieutenant governor for the state of Illinois. She'll be the first female lieutenant governor in the history of the state of Illinois, African-American female, and she will become the first African-American to serve as Lieutenant Governor for the people of the state of Illinois, that's something we should feel proud of.
Right.
Something that we should go out and rally behind.
Correct.
And the only way in which that is going to happen is that we get registered to vote. Early voting is the 27th of September. Contact our neighbors and friends, make sure they're registered, and come out and discharge their civil responsibilities, because if they don't vote, they lose their gripe rights, cannot complain about anything in society. The schools that our children attend, the streets that you walk on, the buses that you ride, the medicine that you consume, the food that you eat, the hospitals that you attend. Someone in government has had something to say about the establishment of the rules and regulations and the guidelines pertaining to those entities. So it's important for you to make sure that you become a tenor. You call 10 of your friends and ask your 10 friends to come out and vote, and have them to ask their friends to tell their friends to come out and vote. And I just hope that when they come out and vote, that they will remember J.B. Pritzker, who's a dear friend of mine, Juliana Stratton, Frericks, who is our treasurer,
Mendoza.
Susanna Mendoza, who is our comptroller, and Kwame Raoul,
right.
who's our lieutenant governor, who happens to be my fraternity brother. And after they've done all of that they need to do, remember, save a little love for Jesse White.
You know, Jesse, the things that you've done as the Secretary of State for the last 3 elections, you've won all the counties. There's 102 counties in Illinois. Even won DuPage County. I was blessed to go to my first state fair. And you know, I know they had pork chop on the stick, and they had gate on the stick. But to see the love of the people of all races, of both political parties, to see the guy come and talk to you, how a friend of his said, whatever you do, don't let Jesse come in and get the trout out there.
Oh, what happened was I was fishing in this pond, and I didn't know that he had a limit.
Right.
What you could take, and so I took more than my fair share, so I apologize to him for doing that, because I love to fish.
But the wonderful thing that you joked with him, you said you get the fish, you put in the grease and
Well, I tell some of my white friends, there's a difference between a black fisherman and a white fisherman. They say, well, what is the difference, Jess? I said, well, the white fisherman will fish for the sport, the black fisherman will fish to eat. The white fisherman will release the fish back into the stream, the black fisherman will release it into the grease.
Right. Right. You know, man, it's such an honor for me, because I know what my transformation has done because of people from the Cabrini Green area. From your great friend, who ended up becoming my friend because of Jerry Butler was your friend from Cabrini Green. Jerry Butler gave me my chance to come to Curtis Mayfield. But
Ramsey Lewis. Yeah,
you know,
I'm with all of them.
and it was President Dunn. Man, when I go on Rush Street and I remember 42nd Ward organization, so I'm saying all this to let the young adults who are millennials today, you're gonna become elders tomorrow. This election is really about y'all more so than about us. We know what has to happen. We know that we're preparing for a future when we may not be here. When you have Ronna refuse to have a budget for almost 3 years, and when my son Carmiel understood the importance of voting because he was on the campus
Sure.
of the university downstate. Even though he was at Eastern, he understood what was happening in Southern, he understood what was happening in Northern, you know what I'm saying? And that was how were they going to get the different Pell Grants or whatever it is that the state had? And that's when he realized the importance of voting. When, Secretary, when we go around to the various churches talking to people, or when we walk down the street talking to people, I know you talk to them more than I do. They come to you and understand the importance why we need to elect J.B. Pritzker. You follow what I'm saying? Because a lot of people that was depending on the child care centers that was getting
Sure.
the money from the budget that he set up,
Sure.
a lot of them couldn't make it to work because they didn't have the funds to take care of the babysitter. You know, so with the time that we have, could you share with them the importance on why we need a blue wave?
Well, first of all, we must send J.B. Pritzker to Springfield to serve as our governor, and his partner should be Juliana Stratton, and the entire Democratic ticket should go to Springfield, and then you must send a force with him in the form of state representatives and state senators. There are 118 state representatives, and each state representative represents 100,000 people. You have 59 senators, and each senator represents 200,000 people. And the bills that are introduced in the General Assembly must be voted upon. And so you must have the Democratic Party must have a veto-proof number of representatives. So it's important for us not only to send J.B. Pritzker and Juliana and the rest of the constitutional officers, but make sure you send the posse with him, so that when the bills come up, he would have the votes that are necessary for them to pass those bills, so they would go to his desk so he can then affix his signature to the ones that have merit, and also veto the ones that cannot carry the day, that a bill that may not be in the best interest of the people of the state of Illinois. So it's important for you to, number one, get registered. Number two, be sure to vote, and make sure you contact not only your neighbors and friends, but your family members as well, to make sure they come out and discharge their civic responsibilities.
You know, Secretary, one of your other sidekicks beside me is our good deacon, Billy Dyson.
Billy Dyson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know,
Gentleman from Cabrini Green.
Yeah.
And he works in my office, and I'm just glad to have him on board.
You know, and
sharpest knife in the drawer.
Yeah, he is. That's my man. That's my man. So another individual that came from y'all, caller, I see you. Could you please state your name, voice your opinion?
Hey, Gator.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
This is Steve. How you doing?
Hey, Steve. How you doing?
And listen, Mr. White, you do a heck of a good job. I mean, you're always there. Always there. Matter of fact, you're part about what I'm about to say. I heard you say old politics down there on 46 and Wabash, down in that hour joints. That's when politicians were politicians. I mean, we had some great politicians, and I mean, they cared about the neighborhood. They cared about people. Somewhere along the line, it got lost. But again, it could always come back. The young got to learn to follow the old, and you have some kind of ideal and put your new mixture in, and it always continue to just keep on going. Gator, you know, you're a heck of a guy. You know, you make me think about a lot of old things, and again, I'm truly blessed. We're both blessed that we're still here. But again, look at you now, Gator. Look at you now. Just think about a little time back when we never could imagine this. But look what we're doing now. You keep on doing what you're doing, Gator, because you're going to pass it on to the younger people. And listen, I didn't know your your kid went down to Eastern.
Yeah.
My whole grandchildren, everybody went down to Eastern. So, I mean, good school. I hope he just take, good care of himself, listen to you, and just keep on going. Mr. White, I want you to just be you. You are the beginning of the last to bring to the new. You need to show the new people now how to politic, how to deal with people, how to care for people. That's what you do. So you just keep on doing that. Guys, let me get out the air so I can hear your response. And Gator, thanks for taking the call.
Hey, thank you, Steve.
Yep. Hey, Steve, having served in the military, not once, not twice, but 3 times, I used to jump out of perfect good airplanes with the 101st Airborne Division. I know about my commitment to duty. I know I must be at my duty station every day, discharge my duties to the best of my ability, which means I want to do all I can to help make this world a better place for everyone.
You know, caller, I see you. Could you please state your name, voice your opinion, and
Hello.
come on, I'm
Hello.
sorry.
Hello. This is Dr. Sophia calling from Washington, D.C.
Hey, Dr. Sophia, Secretary, she's the
doing,
co-author
Gator?
Okay,
for my
great.
book,
Great.
but she's from Illinois.
Doctor, nice to hear your voice.
Oh, thank you. It is wonderful to hear your voice. Like Gator said, I grew up in Chicago, Illinois on the south side. Actually, Gator knew my mother and father before my mother and father knew each other. And now we have a book project together, working on a film project together. And Mr. White, when I learned that you were going to be on his program this evening, I said, I'm going to have to squeeze out of my little bit of Friday that I managed to squeeze into my hectic schedule just to call and show my respect and acknowledge all that you have done for the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois. And if I may just be quite candid and transparent, as a child growing up, while my parents were very socially and politically active, as a child, what I knew were the Jesse White tumblers. and really, you know, the last caller talked about the beginning of the last, but I'd say that you are the last of the first and the beginning of it all, because even projects like that, as you already know, but just speaking specifically what it means for me, is showing, you know, young people what they can aspire to and using their talents to be recognized and really bring joy. Oh, I'm sorry about any background noise. Like I said, I'm squeezing Friday in. But I just want to say that from a child who just saw things from that place to maturing and to, you know, Dr. Sophia with a PhD, pursuing a JD and interested in politics, this and that, living in D.C. where we'll host the Congressional Black Caucus in a few weeks. You are monumental to me personally and deserve respect and re-election for as long as you choose to serve, because there's no one, there's just no one like you. And so, like I said, I had to take this opportunity to call, and thank
Hey,
you.
before you hang up, Dr. Sophia, I want you to also, because I know you're social media savvy, tell
Yes.
all your MP High people from Morgan Park
yeah.
High School,
Yes,
tell
sir.
all your cousins, aunts and uncles, okay, and all the individuals that love you, to make sure that November 6, 2018, they vote for the re-election of Secretary Jesse White and the election of J.B. Pritzker for governor, along with Juliana Stratton and the whole blue wave. And in Washington, D.C., or in Vermont, or wherever you got friends, tell them to make sure that they come out and vote November 6, 2018, wherever they at. Just be blue
Absolutely.
and be true.
Absolutely. We're nationwide, and where we have to, we're sending in these absentee ballots. So, yes, I definitely will. And thank you for this
Okay.
opportunity to share my love and to speak and be spoken to. So, bless you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Doctor, you probably don't know this, but I was born in a town called Alton, Illinois, and at age 7 moved to Chicago, the near north side, and then attended Waller High School, and later on won a scholarship to Alabama State College in Montgomery, Alabama. I was a basketball player, baseball player, and I taught gymnastics. And my minister was Dr. Martin Luther King. And I was in church the day when Dr. King got us together and said that Rosa Parks, a domestic worker, had just been arrested, and that he had been asked to lead the effort to desegregate the Montgomery transit system. He said, I decided to do it, but I have to use the nonviolent means approach. I'm a student of Gandhi. And Gandhi was instrumental in bringing about the independence for the Indians from the British. And so if someone strikes you on one cheek, you turn so you get struck on the other cheek. Well, I was a captain of the basketball team, and Dr. King used to come to all of the games and used to give me $20 after each game. That was legal then. It's not legal now. And so then I raised my hand. He says, Jesse White, what can I do for you? I said, Dr. King, you know me and you know me well, and you know I'm from Chicago, and we don't operate like that. You know, turn the cheek, somebody get hit on the other one. And so he says, just follow the script. Well, yeah, I said, okay, thank you, Dr. King. That was one of the finest moments I had ever spent in life with a gentleman of that magnitude who had a giving and a caring spirit and a commitment to duty. And so I follow in his footsteps to try to be the best that I could be. And I remind the young people that in life we always want them to look up and aim high and work hard toward being the best that they could be. The only time we want them to look down is to tie their shoes.
You know, caller, I see you. Could you please state your name?
Yeah, this is James. Can you hear me?
Hey, James, I can hear you.
Okay. Now, y'all talking about the November the 6th, right? I think Jesse White should run for the mayor, though he's had it in the mayor race.
Hey, you know,
I have an answer for that.
yeah, he gonna answer that for you now, James.
James, I have an answer for you. There are 4 jobs in life I do not want. One is the chief of police in the city of Chicago, the mayor of the city of Chicago, the governor of the governor of the state of Illinois, and the president of the United States. Those 4 jobs I do not want. Thank you, but no thanks.
But I'm glad you're the secretary.
Well, I run the largest Secretary of State office in the nation, so I'm just happy to have been given an opportunity to serve for 19 years, the longest serving in the history of the state of Illinois.
You know, caller, we about to wrap it up, so please state your name and voice your opinion and share your thoughts.
Hello, my name is Clementine.
Clementine.
Clementine,
Hello,
hey,
my name is
Clementine.
Clementine. I'm good. How are you?
Okay.
All right, Mr. White, I just want to thank you for the excellent job that you're doing for the state of Illinois. I'm 19 years old. I'm in the IBEW program, and I plan to vote for you, JB, and Juliana, along as all of my friends from the IBEW program. I can get to the poll. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Thank you. That's very nice. Huh?
Yeah, we were just out there with
young person.
Young person. That's what I'm saying, man.
That's what I'm talking
hey, man,
about.
that's what I'm talking about, hey, man. Because you're a servant. Caller, come on. We're going to wrap it up with you. State your name.
This is Gary, this your little brother.
Hey, family, how you doing, man?
What's good, my brother?
All right. Come on, talk to me.
Hey, I just want to send y'all my blessings, man, and I ask that y'all continue to lead us, brother. Continue to do the work that y'all doing. It's not going unnoticed.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Gary.
Hey, man, one thing I want you to do, family, as I begin to wrap this up, share the importance why we must vote and don't choke. You follow what I'm saying?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
I mean, share that. I mean, and especially with the brothers that's caught up in the various street organizations, you know what I mean? Whether they in church organizations, and we got some brothers that's in various fraternities that don't vote. We telling them to vote too, and the sisters as well. You know, I got 1 minute, but I want to say this, man. For you to call, for you to let our viewing audience see this, because you know we plugged in, we stream live across the country, so everybody is calling in, okay? They texting, they tweeting, they doing all that. But when they heard what you had to say, they
Yes,
know
sir.
that what I did was proper, and what Secretary White has done for me was proper, and the only proper Doppler's thing that we can do is register and vote. Be true, vote blue, November 6th, 2018, and I gotta wrap it up, and I wanna say, first off, thank you, Secretary,
Hey, glad
for
to be
being
here.
here, and I wanna say to my wife, baby, thank you for putting this together. I love you. And I want to say, on that note, I want to close out by saying, be like me. Vote for JB. And to God be the glory.